Join me for part 2 as we move forward with our discussion on how Bruce Lee continues to be an influence and inspiration in our lives. More on Bruce Lee's incredible nunchucks, and then join us for a Bruce Lee and Collectibles room tour of Jimmy O'Connor's Man Cave. Something I know you don't want to miss, and much, much more. They actually made a really nice Return of the Dragon set with Bruce Lee's picture on the cover with the nunchuck and the white tank top.
Really?
Hecht actually has the whole set still in his collection. I just have the backboard, and I can't find my chucks, but they were plastic. They made them.
Plastic.
Yeah, they were just plastic.
Yep.
And they at least gave you the ability to practice with them without getting beat up.
Right.
So I remember buying those in the 70s from New York City, Chinatown.
Was that Buckley Tot?
Yeah, Buckley Tot.
I got to go there when I was a kid.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, parents took us to New York for the day, and I got to go.
Yeah,
that was so cool with the billboard. And
oh
Bruce and
man,
yeah,
yeah. I used to go there just to look up and look at that billboard.
Yeah,
with Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris. It was one of the biggest billboards at that time,
Yep.
and to see that in the 70s was crazy. Wow, I'm glad you got to see that store.
I did. I was lucky to get to go there. Yeah,
it's historic, that store. It's still there. Hector and I did.
It's on Mott Street.
It's
now,
on Mott Street. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they changed it, and the billboard's no longer up there, and it looks completely different now. But the way it looked back in the 70s was incredible.
You guys did a video from the store, right?
From the store.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, no, it was really nice. So these are great, man. So tell me, Bruce Lee is such an inspiration to so many people around the world, and even to this day, people get inspired in so many different ways. I mean, when I first got introduced to Bruce Lee, he was the one that inspired me to get into fitness and maintain fitness. I studied Wing Chun a little bit. I studied a little JKD, and everyone wanted to do martial arts. And then I started collecting Bruce Lee memorabilia because I wanted to learn all I could about him. Did he inspire you in any ways that impacted your life?
Yeah, same thing for fitness and working out.
The whole thing.
I still train hard as I can.
You do, yeah.
Even though it's hard to keep the fat off me, I work out.
As you get older, right? I know.
My wife thinks, like, can't you just take a break for a day? No, I love it.
Yeah.
You know? And that's a lot because of the influence of Bruce
Lee, right? It's amazing.
He influenced me as a kid to get into supplements. I would read about the protein shakes
that he made.
And, to this day, nothing's changed.
I know.
Still vitamin, supplement. We'd read the Joe Eater magazine and then ride our bikes to the health food store and get a can of the Super Pro one. Remember that? Yeah. You drank it and you thought it was just gonna like Popeye eating the spinach.
I know.
As a kid,
because he did a lot of that back then. He had a subscription to Muscle Builder back at the time. Joe Eater back at the time. He was influenced a lot by Bob Hoffman, and because those were the early material, right? Muscular development that came out during that time, and he was experimenting with all the desiccated liver tablets at the time, and the beef protein, and like you, I wanted to make those same shakes because you thought it was going to transform you into Bruce Lee.
Exactly, yeah.
Wow.
But that influence never leaves you.
No, it doesn't.
It stays with you.
I still train
like
5 days a week.
Force. Yeah, me too. I train. I love it. It's not because I have to. It's because you actually love it.
I know. It's funny how he motivates people to this day. You want to still continue to stay in shape and keep fit because of him. That's
right, because of that influence. That is implanted in here early on.
Now, did you, besides working out, did you study any kind of martial arts back then as a kid?
I did Kempo for quite a while. Yeah. And,
so Ed Parker's like Kempo and stuff?
Yeah, it was Tracy's Kempo.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what it was.
Yeah, so we all dabbled in that.
Then I branched out, and then I met a fellow conductor at Metro North. Somebody told him, "Hey, talk to this guy Jimmy. He's really into martial arts and stuff." His name is Angel Brana. He lives in Queens. Mm-hmm. Been practicing for a long time.
Yeah.
Kung Fu, Filipino martial arts, really into all that stuff. So he comes down to my train to meet me one day, and he says, "Hey, I heard Yeah. He goes, you got a break down here? I said, yeah, I got about a couple hours in the afternoon. All right. He goes, meet me on the equipment. And the equipment is what we call the train.
Yeah.
In Grand Central Yard. That's like a section of Grand Central where they just park the trains.
Okay.
Meet me on track 10 in Grand Central Yard. We'll train if you want. I said, oh, yeah, cool. Just bring some sweats, change, and come down. So every day I would go, run up there, change, go down, and we'd train in the vestibule.
In the vestibule, that's funny.
Of the train.
Yeah, wow.
And that was the best training I ever did with him. Because we did like a lot of the Filipino stuff.
Yeah.
Knife and sticks.
You did the collie sticks, the double
collie
sticks.
And we'd be in the vestibule and the car cleaner would be coming through and we got our mop knives out and we're doing this stuff. And like, no, we're just practicing.
That's funny.
Yeah. But that was great. So I got to do that for
Oh, nice. Yes, you did a little of the knife fighting, the collie sticks.
Yeah, the different drills, the
Yep.
wood drills, and did a lot of different stuff. We just would do whatever. Like, what do you want to do today? Oh,
Yeah.
let's try this,
Yeah,
It
well, that was so much fun. It
very
really
free
was.
and open, yeah.
Yeah, I did that back at work with a friend also who studied from Denny and Santo, and he would bring the collie sticks to work, and we'd go find a little area to practice. And I always found that so fun, those drills. And you always, in the back of your mind, you always remembered Bruce using the double sticks in the dungeon and Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
And you always when you were using them, you always would think of that. And that
Yeah.
man, it was crazy the influence he had in so many different ways. Wow. That's great, man. Yeah, so he inspired you like a lot of us into the whole fitness, martial
everything.
arts.
Yeah, I was
nunchucks.
inspired by a lot of the philosophy too. I mean, Bruce's approach was to just get rid of all the baggage and just see the truth through it all. So you could apply that to anything.
You really could.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had such a universal philosophy. I loved his quote where he says, absorb what is useful, reject what is useless.
Make it your own.
Yeah, use what it predominantly is your own, because that's what's going to come natural to you, right? And instinctual to you without thinking, how do you do this next? Am I going to really block this way? And the high block,
Don't think, feel.
Feel, right? And how do you...
applies to anything.
It really does.
When I got into airbrushing, one of my airbrush mentors said, don't paint what you know, paint what you see. And so I thought, wow, don't think, feel.
Feel it, yeah.
If you're thinking like, I'm supposed to do this and this here, no. Just see it. See it. Don't think it. So it's the same. It's the same principle.
Same principle, yeah.
Right. Don't overthink. Don't.
Yeah, that's why his philosophy you could apply to almost any area of your life.
Yeah.
I have a friend,
Makes
Steve
sense.
Walling, who paints the same way. He's a painter. You've probably seen him on my show.
I've seen his work on your stuff.
And he does some great painting.
Yeah.
And he goes, Charles, I was never schooled. I just have this feel for when I paint.
There you
and
go.
I go with the way I feel when I'm painting. And he uses the same philosophy, and he always wants to evolve and try to make it better. And I could see some of your paintings on your monsters from the 60s. You got Bela Lugosi up there, which we'll show in a second. Lon Chaney, Boris Karloff, Christopher Lee, and I thought these were paintings that you purchased because they're so beautiful.
Stuff I did for fun.
And you did that.
The airbrush business for a long time, so this is just fun for me to do.
Yeah, we'll do a little room tour later, and we'll show them some of your work because it's really
I painted
incredible.
the crow in the last 2 nights because you were coming over. I said, let me get a brand new.
You just did that?
Yeah, I just did it.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
We'll get a picture of that. Yeah, the crow. Wow, man, that is beautiful. Wow, yeah, you're very talented, man.
So that philosophy applies to anything.
Yeah.
If you understand what he's trying to convey, I guess,
Yeah. Now you also mentioned that you're a big a fan of all the Asian movies, not just the Bruce Lee movies, but you.
I've collected just about every kung fu movie from the 70s and 80s. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Because when the first wave of kung fu movies started coming here, I couldn't get into the theater. They would not let you in. They were strict on the R-rated things. So I went down there. My father one day went in and talked to the usher. I'm standing outside. It's like a Goodfellas scene. He comes out of the theater. He goes, all right, listen, you're going to go down the alleyway on Chapel Street. And it was this long alleyway, and there was like 4 doors that were the back doors of the theater.
Yeah.
He goes, go down there, you're going to go down, knock on the door on Saturday and just wait. He's going to come out and let you in. So you give him $2, right? So I would go every Saturday. I'd go down there, go down the alleyway, knock, and the usher would come out. He'd open the door and he'd go like this, and then he'd check and then come back, and I'd give him $2, and I got to see every kung fu movie.
Wow! So you saw them all through the 70s,
so
80s.
Cool.
You
Yeah.
loved them all.
It was so cool. Yeah.
Wow! So your father set that up for you.
Yeah.
He made him an offer he could have refused.
Yeah, so I was lucky.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have got to see anything because they were very strict on the rule, you know.
And then you purchased a lot of those when they started coming to VHS
Yeah, when
and
it came on
DVD.
VHS.
They were always hard to find, though. You couldn't really find those
Well, there was a video chain up here near me called Tommy K's Video. And they, for some reason, had the entire Ocean Shores video collection. Ocean Shores was a company that marketed all these movies. And as a matter of fact, Rick Myers did the commentary on some of the Ocean Shores. He worked with them.
Yeah.
And so I go in the store when they see this whole wall of kung fu films, and I see this one, Kung Fu: The Invisible Fist.
Yeah, I remember seeing that in the movie. Yeah.
Man, I hadn't seen that since I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know, I rented it, and then I started when I went crazy, I started renting all the movies and copying them, and then DVD came out. I had to convert everything to DVD.
Where do you keep all those? You have them all down here in your basement, in your man cave?
Some of them are in the cabinets.
Wow.
Some are in the other room, but in that cabinet is all the
I
Shaw
see.
Brothers. Like when Celestial remastered all those Shaw Brothers movies and put them out, they were Region 3. So I found a website that shows you how to hack DVD players.
Yeah.
And I just happened to have one of the players that was hackable.
Oh, nice.
So, I just put this code in on your remote and unlocked it. So what I did was I converted the entire Shaw Brothers collection to Region 1.
Oh, good for you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I had to do that with a couple of my Region 3 videos as well at the time. You couldn't watch them and you were dying to see what was on there.
Yeah, right.
And then I had to bring them to video stores back in the day and they would convert them to you.
Oh, they would do that for you?
Yeah, I found a place that would convert the DVDs, the videos for you to Region 1 so I can play them. But it was always such a hassle.
So I was lucky because on the train, if you find something on the train, you bring it to Lost and Found. But back then, you would fill out a receipt.
Yeah.
And if nobody claimed it after whatever it was, 30 days or something, they'd call you and say, hey, this is yours now.
Oh, I got you.
So a friend of mine found a DVD recorder on the train.
Yeah.
I had found an early iPod.
Yeah.
And so nobody claimed either of them, so we both had them. He goes, hey, you want to trade that iPod for the DVD recorder? I was like, yeah, I'll take the DVD recorder. So, and that's how I was able to record all the films.
Oh, so you switched a lot to DVD at that point.
And plus, convert the collection to Region 1, which was cool. So.
Wow, that's nice. So what was your take on meeting Rick Myers? When did you meet him?
I met him on the train.
He's been big in the industry for a huge time. Critic, right? Movie critic, film critic. He wrote numerous books.
The books and everything, really.
So you met him on the train?
Yeah, I met him on the train.
Nice.
I met a lot of people on the train,
Very cool, very cool. Did you ever, did you speak to him in any length? Did he share with you anything on anything you asked him, or?
Oh, sure,
Nice conversation with him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we used to do Kung Fu movie night here.
Really?
Yeah, because I got the projector, so we didn't do it on the big screen.
Oh, so he came over your place a few times?
Sure, yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, very nice, very nice. Yeah, I met him, I think I was telling you earlier, at the Urban Action Showcase a few years back, and nice guy, very knowledgeable.
Yeah, very cool,
Yeah, very cool. I'd love to do an interview with him, a full interview with him, because he's been around since the Bruce Lee era, like us.
Yeah.
And he has a very extensive background. He wrote a number of books, and he's still involved with Bruce Lee projects and books to this day.
Yeah.
But he's a nice guy, very nice guy. So besides Bruce Lee, what was your first collectible on Bruce Lee that you picked up back in the day? Do you remember?
Oh, I bought anything with Bruce Lee on it.
Oh, you did?
Everything.
Like most of us.
Like if a magazine had one picture of Bruce Lee in it, I bought it.
Even if it was one picture.
That's why when you showed that Films and Filming magazine, I was like, I had that. Yeah, I was yelling at the screen, I had that. Yeah, but it's so cool. You know,
sometimes it would.
This little 2-page thing on Enter the Dragon, but he was on the cover, so I bought it. Yeah.
Yeah, I would do the same thing. Even if it was a little picture of it inside the magazine, I had to buy it, and I saved all those magazines to this day, and that's why I've accumulated such a huge
I would
collection now.
Every book and magazine I could find, and then there was an Asian martial arts store that opened up in downtown New Haven, and they were getting there was a series of magazines from Hong Kong.
Okay.
They almost looked like softcover books, but they're magazines.
The JKD magazines from Hong Kong.
Yes,
Yeah, the
so they started
those were great.
Those stores, they were getting all those, and they were very poorly translated.
Yeah.
If you read them, but they were just cool.
Even though they were in English, it was hard to read them. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So,
and they're the ones that also came out with the JKD poster magazines. There was 12 of them to a set. Remember those? They came out with the other magazines.
Yeah.
Those are some of the nicer magazines.
All the Kung Fu monthlies, all those. And,
wow. You still have a lot of that in your collection, or you kind of lost them throughout the
one
time?
thing I regret was I started trading it away when I got into collecting all the model kits and stuff.
Ah.
So that's I regret that to this day.
Wow. So you used a lot of your
because there was like a lull in
collectibles.
that whole thing, and then when video came back, and everything like got woken up again. I was like, man, what did I do?
Yeah. There was a lull. In the 80s, there was a huge lull
exactly.
in the Bruce Lee.
When I started collecting the
model kits again.
Right.
Wow, yeah.
Because what happened was I had gone to Disney World in '84, and we came out of the Haunted Mansion ride.
Yeah.
And so when you come out of the ride, you got to walk through the store.
Yeah.
You know, the shops.
Yeah.
So after the Haunted Mansion ride, I come out and go through the shop, and I'm looking, there's the Aurora Frankenstein model in the case, and I was like, wow, where is it? I said, and there was like, I think they had that one and the Mummy, and I said, is that for sale? He goes, yeah, I think we got a few left over there, and there was they had like 3. I think they had the Wolfman, the Mummy, and the Frankenstein.
Oh,
and
nice.
I just bought them.
You bought them.
Then I came home and so I'm going through the old famous monsters now, and I see the big 2-page ad with all the model kits.
Yeah.
And I just like everything came like.
Oh, so back in the 80s, you started
back,
getting back into that. Because I remember doing the Aurora model kits. My mom used to take me to the toy store in the late 60s when they would, you could buy them for like, $2, the whole model kit.
98 cents.
98 cents. Remember that?
Yeah,
wow.
98 cents.
I love the Aurora model kits and the famous Monsters of Film Man. You said you still have your whole collection of famous Monsters of Film Man.
Famous
from
Monsters
2 on up.
From number 2 on.
Wow, that's fantastic. I love all that.
And the creepy and eerie magazine.
Yeah.
Frank Frazetta did all the covers for those.
You still have those?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to go through some of those. And I love your original boxes that the Aurora models came in. I know some of them are reprints, but you have some originals there still.
Yeah, some of them are original.
And
at one time I had all original, but when I realized the market was going to get saturated when they started reissuing them, so I sold a few of the original.
Yeah, what was the one originally you said you sold for like $700-800?
The Bride of Frankenstein.
Wow! And somebody
I bought it for $250. This is back in the '80s.
Yeah.
Everybody thought I was nuts. Yeah, you're crazy. You're going to spend $200. I said, I know what I'm doing. How you spend that on a model kit? I said, look, it's sealed. It's in the box. And somebody ended up offering me $800.
The Bride of Frankenstein.
Model kit.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, man.
And I didn't mind because I'm still able to have the box art. And
it's beautiful.
It's all about the art.
It really is.
It really is. I mean, I don't worry about monetary value anymore. Yeah. I mean, it's cool to have original stuff, but
the box art was just simply beautiful.
Are all original Auroras.
Yeah. We're gonna do a film tour of this a little later and show people some of the models. You're very talented, man. I give you a lot of respect between painting, the Aurora models and the famous monster models, and some of even your Bruce Lee figures that you painted, some of your Crow figures that you painted. You do a great job, and you use both airbrush as well as just regular paint.
Regular paintbrush. Yeah,
and it's fun, right? It's a nice hobby of yours.
I had the airbrush business for about 16 years.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And I did it as a business. And when I got laid off from my job, before I worked at Metro North, it kept me alive.
Yep.
It kept me, it supported my family off of airbrushing.
Did you have a store? You did it from home?
I did it from home, but we traveled on the weekends. We would travel around the state doing all the fairs and stuff.
Oh, wow,
doing
neat.
T-shirts and all that. And then I got into the motorcycles and helmets and guitars and all that stuff. Well,
you did a great job, man. We'll show them, like I said, some of the things that you airbrushed and hand painted. It's
funny.
We'll go through a room tour in a minute.
I was out in my shop painting one night. And it's like 11 o'clock at night. And my wife comes out to the shop, out into the garage with the phone, and she says, hey, Mark Mendoza from Twisted Sisters on the phone. He wants to talk to you. I said, get out of here. She goes, no, he's on the phone. He wants to talk to you. And he wanted to ask me to paint a few bases for him. But the the funny thing is, he was more thrilled that I was a conductor on Metro North. He's a train buff.
Oh, really? That's so funny.
Yeah, he just
That's
wanted to
hilarious.
talk about the railroad.
Oh my God. That's funny.
Yeah,
how long did you work for Metro North? How long were you a conductor?
26 years.
26 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I only bumped into you a couple times. I felt bad when you retired because I wanted to keep bumping into you so we
Yeah,
could
I know,
continue to
I
chat about collecting and Bruce Lee, and I knew you were a big fan of the channel, and then you retired, what, 2 years ago? Or
Yeah, about 2 years ago.
About 2 years ago?
Yeah.
How are you enjoying retired life?
I love retired life.
Yeah?
It's great. You can do
That's nice,
whatever I
man.
want.
Wake up whenever you want.
Yeah.
Are you getting more into your hobbies now of painting and building?
Yeah, but I'm enjoying it more now.
Yeah,
you know,
'cause you have the
it's more
time.
relaxed. I have the time. And,
Yeah.
it's just fun. Yeah, so.
That's fantastic, man. Well, I'm happy for you, man.
Thanks.
It's a lot of
Thanks.
years into Metro North. I know it's not easy dealing with all those people on the trains.
Oh God, I could tell you stories that you wouldn't believe. You literally wouldn't believe
Oh
me.
boy.
You'd say, "No, that didn't happen."
Oh God. Yeah. No, I see some of the stuff that happens on those trains.
funny.
I don't feel good for the conductors. Sometimes they have to get the police on there to get rid of people and get them out of the train. And
Yeah, I've seen all.
you've seen it all, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well,
As a matter of fact, when that blackout happened in '04, I don't know if you remember the big blackout? My train got stuck right at your town,
in Larchmont?
right between Larchmont and Mamaroneck.
Oh wow.
And there's a nursing home right there by the tracks.
Yes.
And luckily they had a generator, and we evac'd everybody off the train to that nursing home.
Oh wow.
And people were able to make phone calls and
Look at
stuff
that.
like that. But
Wow.
I sat there till the next day.
Oh my goodness. That's pretty scary.
Yeah.
Man. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, this was great, man. I want to do this room tour with you because I'm sure people are going to be curious to see some of the work you've done and some of your other collectibles on both Bruce Lee and your Aurora model kits and monster models, and it's everything that I love as a kid. I mean, I grew up with the Aurora model kits. I think I told you. You know, I wish I had mine. I only have 4 left. I have the Witch, I have the Phantom of the Opera, I have the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and I have King Kong because I also collected BB guns as a kid. And I would line my models up. We had a little porch on the Lower East Side, and to entertain myself, I would line my models up, and I would do BB gun target practice, and I would always try to shoot their heads. And now I regret doing that because I lost, 20 different model kits at the time. But, back in the day, you would always be able to buy them again because they were in all the stores in the 70s, early 70s.
Right. And then they just became scarce after that.
And then they came out with the glow in the dark ones, which I was never a big fan of. I always liked the original ones.
Yeah, because if you wanted it to glow in the dark, you couldn't paint it.
No, you couldn't paint it. So I never got the glow in the dark. Never really did it for me. I like the ones before that, and like I said, I only have 4 left. But you seem like you have the whole collection. Because I remember doing all those.
I have a lot of them, yeah.
Yeah, you have all the basic ones, the cool ones, yeah.
If you have the Phantom, that's one of the more rare ones.
Oh, the Phantom of the Opera?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have mine painted similar to yours, yeah. I love that one. Yeah, that's good to know. Well, I wanted to thank you for allowing me to do this interview. I know we're going to do the room tour, but I also wanted to give you a little gift. So I came out with these Bruce Lee collection catalogs back in the late 90s, early 2000s, because I was in touch with a lot of Bruce Lee collectors and fans, just through pen pal. I was pen pals with them because you didn't have the internet back then, and they would always ask me to see my collection and what do I have in it and can we trade, and I was never able to show them what I had, so I put these catalogs together.
Awesome.
And this one shows about, I think it's 700 different items of my Bruce Lee collection in here that I put out at 75 pages. And I'm going to give you this. I'm going to sign it to you as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because I only have like, I don't know, maybe a dozen of these left. So if anyone wants to pick up these, I do, like I said, I have about a dozen left. I'll even sign them to you. I'm going to write in here, have fun collecting, because it's my tagline on the channel now, because it's all about having fun and collecting. And to this day, me and you and others are like big kids.
Yeah, we're
still collecting, and we're like big kids still. And it brings us so much joy and fun. So I wanted to give this to you, man.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, that's for you.
I appreciate it.
And I want to thank you again for these beautiful nunchucks. I know this was a really big surprise come Christmas when you sent me these. I was really excited to get these, so thank you. And I know I was saying a minute ago, if anyone wanted to contact you about maybe buying or ordering a pair of chucks for you. Do you make custom chucks? Are you into that, or would it take you too long?
I mean, I never thought anybody would actually want it.
Yeah, there may be some fans of the channel that may want to pick up.
I always had a passion for.
Because I would love a pair of the Game of Death ones, man.
You'll get a pair.
Okay, that would be great. Let me see these.
Yep.
These are beautiful. Wow, look at this, guys.
These are the prop version.
Yeah, you got the. Well, his were rubber. You could see them bending in a lot of the outtakes, right?
And these bend.
Yeah, I can see that. Look at that. Yeah. Wow, those are nice, man. You do a good job on those.
Thanks, Charles. Yeah, thank you.
So do you have an email if anyone wanted to contact you and say, hey, Jimmy, can you make me a pair, and they want to buy a pair from you? Where can they reach you? Do you want to give an email address out?
Sure, I have an email.
What is it?
It's James O'Connor 871@yahoo.com.
So all one word, James O'Connor 871@yahoo.com. Okay, I'll put it in the description of the video also, and I'll put it across the screen. So if anyone wants to contact you about maybe getting a set for you, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
All right, beautiful, man. And you make them all. You got
something I thought I would ever do.
I'm telling you, there's a couple of people now that are making them. Like Stripey knows the guy in UK who does them. He makes them now, and he sells a few pair, and there's a couple other people that do that. And you seem to have making a pair from all his films. I mean, you have the Enter the Dragon version, you have the Game of Death version, you have the Return of the Dragon, and have you made the Chinese Connection nunchucks as well?
I had a pair of those. Okay. I don't have them anymore, but the wood pair.
The wood pair.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other ones were just taped up with electrical tape.
Yeah. But, so you can more or less make any of the style nunchucks that people may want.
These were another set that Bruce had. These were auctioned off with the wooden Game of Death set.
Yeah.
And these are similar to the Fists of Fury with the 3 grooves.
Oh yeah. Look at that. Yep.
And they were natural wood color like this.
Yeah, I remember those.
It's one of my favorite pairs right here.
Yeah, this is how the Fist of Fury ones, the Chinese Connection, had the 3 grooves in them.
Yep.
Right?
They were a little skinnier.
Yeah.
But,
and you got these back in the day, or is this a new acquisition for you?
I made these.
You made these.
I don't know what I did.
Oh, yeah, nice job on those, man.
Maybe 8-10 years ago. I made these. Yeah.
Wow, very nice.
But the ones Bruce had, the chain links were really big. And like oversized chain links. Yeah. And so I just changed it because I didn't know.
Nice.
I like the smaller chains a little.
Nice.
That's the only thing I changed out of it.
All right, well, what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to take you guys on a room tour now with Jimmy and I, and we're going to show you some of his Bruce Lee collectibles, some of his Aurora model kits, and some of his famous monsters of Filmland and other collectibles that he's hand painted, airbrushed, some original paintings that he's done. Very talented guy. I think you're gonna love it. So Jimmy, I want to thank you, man, for this interview today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for having me over your place. And for those of you who are new to the channel and haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. I am trying to get to 100,000 subs. We're about almost at 85,000 now. It doesn't take much. It doesn't cost you much. Just hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And if you want to see other videos like this, just subscribe and you'll be notified as to when they come out. And once again, Charles Damiano signing out from the Bruce Lee Collection, as always saying, have fun collecting, and we'll see you guys next time, and stay tuned for a room tour coming right up. Hey guys, so we're here in one of the areas of Jimmy's man cave here, and this one houses quite a few statues of pop culture from different eras. Why don't you start with the top up here, James? Did you do custom paint these yourself?
Yeah, these are all custom built and painted. These was I don't remember when this came out. Maybe in the early '90s.
Yeah, I think it was in the early '90s. I hope you don't mind me taking this down.
Kato needs a dart. I lost the dart.
Oh yeah, so look at that.
We got to redo his dart.
Everyone probably remembers these, and Jimmy actually hand painted most of these himself, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Through what? Both the airbrush technique,
airbrush and paintbrush for these. Yeah.
Well, you did a really nice job on there. You got the Kato on there. And then I love this diorama you did up here, which I'll show close-ups. No, I'll show close-ups of it in a minute. But talk us through this. So, what did you try to recreate here with Bruce?
Just try to recreate a little section of the dungeon scene there with the, the prison bars and the walls, and threw a few boxes in there, and he's got the nunchucks laying on the floor.
Yeah,
in front of him.
I love that. I love that. So when he gets that nunchucks down, he grabs the double sticks.
Yeah. Sometimes I buy these kits and I get an idea, and I'm like, that'd be cool if I. you know, do a
Yeah.
little something with it. So
Yeah, no, look good. I love the cavern scene here, and you built the
yeah,
the jail cell over
Yeah,
there that the guards were in. That's great. And then you have this little crow model kit.
Yeah,
I remember when this one came out. This was in the
I think it
90s.
was
It came
Horizon
out.
models
Yep,
made that. Yeah, very cool kit.
And
very nice likeness.
Yeah, this is a really great likeness, and I love the painting you did on there, man. You
Thanks,
did a nice
Josh.
job.
Thank you.
And again, this is airbrushed as well as hand painted with the.
Yeah.
Wow, very nice,
Yep.
very talented, man. You got Crow, and then moving down to this one. This is an interesting thing. So this is the whole scene of Jaws from.
Jaws, yeah, that's an original sculpture I did, except for the boat. The boat I just had to modify and make it look like the orca a little bit. But,
Nice.
Yeah, that's an original sculpted piece with the shark and
I like the little sign in the back. Did
close
you
you
make
can
the
see.
sign?
Quentin Brody's falling into the shark's
Oh
mouth
yeah,
there.
look at him. He's sliding into the shark's mouth when he jumps on top of the boat.
Yeah.
From Jaws. That's great, and I love that because this is the sign you see in the movie,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Where it says Amity Island, help shark, and then the girl swimming on the bodyboard and the shark fin is behind her. Well, that's great.
Yep.
And I remember
love
this
that scene.
character.
Yeah,
when I
from,
was a kid.
Clash of the Titans.
Clash of the Titans.
Yeah,
This is
the
a great one.
Cyclops,
Yeah.
Yep.
The old Cyclops figure. Was this an Aurora kit or no?
No,
No.
there was a Japanese company
Okay.
called Billiken Models that made all these fantastic kits in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you hand painted this one as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
All those are vinyl kits. It was pretty weird. They made them all out of vinyl.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
Wow. And then on this section you have a variety of people.
Yeah,
you have
you get the-
Conan here.
Arnold is Conan and
I don't even remember. This is resin, right?
yeah, it's a resin kit. Yeah.
Wow. That is pretty cool kit. And then you have Arnold as the Terminator in the back.
Mm-hmm. And the
And,
bad guy from the Terminator.
Yeah, the liquid metal guy.
Hulk.
You got a little Hulk action there.
Jack Nicholson Joker.
Oh man, I thought he made one of the best Jokers.
Yeah,
Jack
he was
Nicholson.
great as the Joker.
This
yeah.
is great. So this Batman and Joker, was this from the movie they made together? So was this
it's Michael Keaton.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it actually looks like him a little bit in that one.
It does, yeah.
from
it
the
has
jawbone
likeness.
down. Yeah.
Yep.
So you got a little Batman and the Joker down here. And then down and the last shelf you have the Mummy,
Mummy.
Godzilla.
And that's from a movie called 20 Million Miles to Earth.
Wow.
The Metaluna Mutant.
Yeah. Wow. Very good, very good. So James, these famous Aurora kits, these are two of your original boxes?
Yeah.
So this first one here, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, I remember these as a kid picking these up. These, how much were these back in the day?
98 cents.
98 cents.
Yeah.
Wow, what do you think something like this would go now?
In the original box, like $500-600
For the full kit?
Most of them, yeah.
In the original box? Wow. And who was the artist on these?
James Bama did all these box art on all these.
Wow.
Fantastic artist.
Wow, that's just incredible.
Just great, bright colors and just fantastic.
Wow, and these were always my favorite, man.
Yeah.
Wow, that's just incredible. You don't even find, it's so hard to find the original boxes sealed any longer.
Right.
So that's why they probably go for so much, $500-600 you're saying, if you find them.
Oh yeah, sealed maybe more,
Wow, that's incredible. Thank you for that, man.
Sure.
So Jimmy, why don't you tell me about this last Frankenstein piece that you're holding and why you consider it the Holy Grail?
Okay, so this is an original Aurora gigantic Frankenstein, which he became known as Big Frankie. Big Frankie came out in 1964, and when he came out, he costed $4.95, and all these other model kits were 98 cents when they came out. So not too many parents were willing to fork out $4.95 for a model kit, so he didn't last long on the shelves. And so he's just the rarest of all Aurora kits. He's the rarest of the rare. Very hard to find an original gigantic Frankenstein out there.
If you found one in the box sealed, what do you think it would go for?
$1,500 to $2,000.
Wow.
Maybe if it was sealed. I don't even know. It could be more, but I mean, at the recent Chiller show, someone had one in a box, open box, but and they were asking $1,300 for it.
Well, so did you hand paint this one?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I was lucky just to even find the built-up one. I found this in the mid-'80s.
Wow, it's beautiful. I remember that as a kid, and his arms move, right?
His arms move.
Yep.
You can see. Yep.
Wow, look at that.
And he came with a little rock and chain that was onto. I have that. I just don't display it with it.
Got ya. Wow, that is a beauty. For those who love Aurora model kits and the old monsters from the '60s and '70s, this is a must-have, man. This is crazy.
Like I said, Mobius Models did reissue it in a few years back, and that's accessible. You can find it, and it's just about perfect. I mean, they did a perfect reproduction. Unless you really knew, you wouldn't notice.
Yeah. Wow, man. Well, thank you for that. That's a beautiful model.
Sure.